Hello, this is Ken Barron. I'm from the National Association of Black and White Men Together. And I'm going to talk today about taking on the bullies of the GOP's people. What do you do if you're an activist? Well, let's look at one example, and it's a great example. I got this from the LA Times article, a great story to inspire folks to stand up against homophobia and misinformation. Olivia is a 19-year-old Texan, and she claims that in her own mind, she's, quote, a queer, plus-size, disabled Latina. She's the kind of person who Trump thugs love to target and troll, but she can easily fight back. Let's find out how. Using the nonprofit Gen Z for Change, her strategies should be a lesson for Democrats. Bring some Texas swagger to the war on democracy. What are you doing to fight for progressives? Well, Olivia raised more than $2 million for abortion funds in response to body shaming from Representative Matt Gaetz. He's from Florida, a Republican who is under investigation on suspicion of sex trafficking. In a hateful July speech, he described pro-choice activists as, quote, disgusting, saying they tend to be 5'2" and 350 pounds. Quote, he said, nobody wants to impregnate you if you look like a thumb, he said. Olivia, who tweeted, quote, I'm actually 5'11", 6'4" in heels. I wear them so that the small men like you are reminded of your place. Well, she began raising money for abortions access in his name, the Republican. And in less than a week, she had $2 million and nearly 1 million followers. Wow. She had done digital battle with Texas Governor Greg Abbott, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, Texas Lieutenant Governor Don Patrick, and out-of-state politicians such as Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin and Senator Marco Rubio, Republican of Florida. She led a campaign that crashed an abortion reporting website in Texas and another that sabotaged a tip line aimed at, quote, divisive teaching in Virginia. She said, quote, they painted liberals and Democrats to be hypersensitive snowflakes who can't deal with criticism. And then she went on to say, quote, when the reality really is these grown men in positions of power are some of the most whiny, spoiled brats you could ever talk to in your entire life. Now, she supports lots of candidates. And for example, Beto O'Rourke for governor in Texas, Rochelle Garza for attorney general, and Mike Collier for lieutenant governor. O'Rourke said, quote, like millions of Texans, she isn't waiting for someone to come ride to her rescue. She's stepping up to do what she can. What are you doing, however small? Olivia has said, quote, there comes a time when we have to fight fire with fire. Olivia told the reporters, quote, we are no longer disagreeing with people about tax policy, about investments in certain projects. We're quite literally disagreeing about our fundamental rights and basic privacy. Backlashes are a powerful force. I don't know if you remember, if you were in California, the Proposition 187, and that was in 1994, and it sought to strip undocumented immigrants of access to public education and healthcare. A backlash fueled unprecedented voter registration amongst Latinos and dealt a fatal blow to this day to denigrate the Republicans, make them really understand that Texas now may face a similar fate. Olivia and the young Latinos who led protests in California have a lot in common. When politicians went out of their way to denigrate them and to make them feel uncomfortable and worthless, the backlash wins. A surge in voter registration amongst women and youth signals that Republicans have triggered yet another backlash. But this time it won't remain just local. The new activists are masters of social media, and ones have iPhones, making it even more easy to do this. What is your backlash? The Supreme Court decision that overturned Roe versus Wade is a war on Latinos who earn less than all other women. Many can't afford to travel for abortions. There are also language barriers, and the undocumented ones lack access to health care in many cases. Those who live within the 100-mile border zone where Border Patrol can set up checkpoints can't travel without risk of deportation. The disproportionate impact on Latinas is one reason Olivia is such an important voice in the struggle for abortion access and other rights. What is your struggle? As right-wing trolls target Latinos and other voters of color with disinformation and threats, here at the NA, we should be ready to smack down the misinformation and get out the vote. The NABWT political action team has, over the last few months, sent out 5,000 texts, 150 letters, and 50 postcards to voters to get out the vote in New Jersey, Ohio, Colorado, Texas, Arizona, North Carolina, Florida, New Mexico, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Nebraska, Maryland, all before the new midterms. This is the work of NA members and allies using modern communication apps to reach out and provide precise and immediate responses on how to vote, where to vote, and the issues. These methods have been shown in research to work well. What is your fight for our values? Thank you for listening. Please subscribe, comment, and like us on all of our platforms, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and of course on our main website, nabwmt.org. You can email us at nabwmt@nabwmt.org. Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you again.